So hello everyone, today we are sketching this, and this is a 10-minute challenge. It's not just a 10-minute challenge, it's also an Instagram challenge. And the Instagram challenge is by Katie's Brush and Nib and at gelart.377, and I'll pop a link up to this post, which has got 4 different really interesting reference photos that I'll be trying to work through this month and give you little videos on. So without further ado, let's get sketching. This is a 10-minute challenge, same old style, nice and loose, using my Lamisfari fountain pen. And we can see this sketch is really interesting, sort of 1-point perspective sketch, isn't it? The vanishing point disappearing off somewhere sort of on this side of the paper. And so I'm going to start there. I'm going to start at that vanishing point, and I'm going to try and keep a track of the time as we sketch. So what I'm actually going to do is draw the right side of our image first, because that's going to be our frame. And when we are doing quick sketching, which we often are when we're urban sketching, especially when we're urban sketching in winter, when we're getting very cold being outside, well, we need to make some decisions, don't we? We need to make some decisions about what we are simplifying, what we're removing, reducing. Well, this makes a lovely frame. It makes a lovely sort of side of the image where we can pop a few lines, but we can probably come back later and do nothing, leave the colour blank and have it as this white pushing mass pushing us towards the other side of the image. So then what we're going to do with the other side, well, let's again start back here and just bring this kind of feel the flow of this roof line towards us. And it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, because, you know, if we were sat here, stood here, the amount of houses, the exact houses you'd see, all the details would change quite a lot depending on exactly where you stood. So we don't have to be totally 100% accurate in our sketch. Just approximate, get the feel for the place. Once we've got that kind of silhouette in, we can bring down some of these vertical lines, which are going to give us more an idea of how stacked up these houses are. And we can just gradually bring them towards us. And they kind of disappear, don't they? They disappear behind a little step here. So let's get that step in and bring it across the image. That's another interesting framing point. What I might do is let the colours pool to here and just drip over, but not add a lot of colour below there. And then we can enhance that idea of a sort of step quite simply by finishing our door abruptly there. Doing the same with a couple of bits, like we've got some plants here, so let's make something of these plants, and we just have these details all finishing abruptly as we get to this kind of step. Then that will just enhance the idea of what's going on. Got some fun things to get here, like this bright red door. That's going to be a bit of punch of colour for later. And then lots of these other little windows and things. And we're going to have to leave out some detail, but we can certainly start getting a lot of these shapes in early on. And then work out, as we go back, how abstract do we want to get? How much or little of the details do we want to get in? And we can also find where we've missed out a house, so perhaps I want to separate these out a little bit and just loosely suggest some windows going back. And we also have a nice sort of tree here, so let's get in some different lines that point away from all these other angular lines, and then we've got a tree. Just like here, we've done these kind of bushes and greenery with loops, so let's just get some loops in here. And of course a couple of cars just coming around the corner. So cars are a challenge as ever, but they're all still just shapes, and we only need to suggest the car. So I think for me that already is enough of a suggestion. Just a rectangle, a sort of another rectangle, and all of them just squashed. So I guess they're more parallelograms, because the sides of the rectangle just point out. And as soon as you add a wing mirror, a light and a wheel to your shapes, people can tell what it is. You're already pretty much there. There's a few more sort of trees and bushy type things going along, which will make something of, will add a bit of je ne sais quoi to the image. And then it's all just about finding little details if we want them. Perhaps in this sort of close-up building, one thing we can do is add in a few bricks. That might give us something to anchor some colour off. It also shows the kind of perspective, so this house flips to the side, doesn't it? You've got this face and we got the other face. And you probably notice that I haven't quite measured the sides of the street correctly. You know, I could start again if I wanted. So if you have a look, this should probably be about here. This edge should probably be about here. If we like measure comparatively up to this. But as we're just doing a nice little loose sketch and we're leaving this as negative space, I think it's going to be fine. And I think it's important to accept those mistakes. It's a very easy mistake to make, getting the heights of a street wrong on two sides. But, you know, just want to remember for next time. Or maybe I could do this sketch again, having done a really loose version. I could do a much tighter version later in the day. I'm going to get some sort of flowing lines coming down the street. There's lots of sort of shadow and things here, isn't there? So we can build that up just with a little bit of extra textural line making. And perhaps even just a little bit of sort of hatching to get some of these really dark spaces punching out. And just pick a few of these windows which are dark in the reference and really get them to be quite nice, boldly dark. And there's loads you could get stuck into. If you wanted to, a much longer sketch, you really could spend ages sketching each of these windows, getting the textures, getting the measurements right, all these kind of things. For me, there's a lot of joy in doing these quick sketches, in getting the essence down quickly and then having fun with our colours, which is what we're going to do next, of course. So, in the normal style, lots of water on the page. And why I like using an A5 and portrait sketchbook is because it opens up this sky. And it means you can do really dramatic, interesting skies. You can make your colours just flow. Look at that. Look how it just moves everywhere. I haven't had to paint any of that. Just cheated, dropped a little bit of colour on the page. We can bring that pool of colour down and then start just getting some of that murky shadow. So this is cobalt blue, this is a bit of indigo. And then we just neaten up the edge there so that it really does frame our scene. Comes up to those sort of negative spaces we were talking about earlier. We can add a bit of drama to the sky as well with some more of that indigo. And then we can start adding a bit of warmth. These are all nice and murky, cold colours at the moment. But let's add a little bit of warmth, something to sort of make it feel a bit more homely. So I've got a little bit of Scarlet Lake mixed in with some quinacridone sienna up there. And we'll find all these little windows, for example. All these nice red windows. Just going to leave that one because actually I'm going to make it really punchy in a minute. Then we can do some of these blue windows. I'm going to use phthalo blue to make it sort of stand out from the sky. I'm just going to do a few splashes as well to add a bit of just texture and things. Okay, so now what else have we got? We've got still got nice warm colours in all these buildings, haven't we? So let's take a bit of quinacridone gold, quinacridone sienna, and just wash that along and see how that feels after we've done it. Just really loose wash, which we can use to push away some of those murky colours and sort of reposition our shadow. And we can bring it down from the top as well. We also added a lot of we've sort of put a bit of focus on these sort of trees and bushes and things. So let's just make sure they're represented in our colour. So there's a nice bit of cascade green just moving around. And we can always come back in and clean our brush and control where that colour's gone a little bit. Okay. A few splashes in this negative space just to connect it down. This is feeling a bit of a hard boundary at the moment, but just like that, for me it sort of feels more connected, but still providing that nice sort of reference point coming off. I wanted some drips coming down, so let's drop some water in and just encourage a few little drips. Drop a little bit of pigment in, a little bit of green over here, and then we can tap, so suddenly those drips will move down and feel much more organic. Maybe a warm drip over here as well, and it doesn't have to go all the way off the edge. So let's just see what that one wants to do. Now, last minute or so, I'm going to grab my red and a small brush, and we're going to get this lovely window frame, or shutter I suppose, isn't it? And we're going to drop that red in just a couple of other places to keep the image feeling connected, feeling sort of unified. Behind that red, I just want a bit of dark, a bit of contrast, and then a few little bricks up here that we took the effort to draw. So let's just take the effort to give them a bit of texture, a bit of something. And last but not least, let's do a couple more splashes. Got a lovely way of filling negative space and letting it feel connected. And that is probably my 10 minutes. Yes, I think it's my 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop there, let this dry, and then we'll see what we've been left with. So there we go, there's my finished little sketch. Sometimes it can be fun to go back and add a bit more colour, a bit more boldness. I actually think this one's got plenty going on at the moment. If you wanted to, you could go back and add sort of bits of tone to the windows, make more of the bricks. There's loads of little things you could do to turn this 10-minute sketch into a 20, 30, 40-minute sketch. You could do it bigger, and that would give you a lot of opportunity to add a lot more detail. Of course, working nice and small does make it much easier to finish something in 10 minutes and make it really interesting, make that page full of interest. But I'm going to leave it there. This is my attempt at the 1st of December, stage 1 of this interesting December drawing challenge. Do check out the guys on Instagram. So you'll find them on Katie's Brush and Nib and Janet at jal.art377. And I'll pop a link up to their challenge and their reference photos in the description, of course. Most of all, of course, have fun sketching, try something out, enjoy the sort of festive period, and thank you for watching.